This world is about to find out what it looks like when you play with God. There's a new brain chip implant about to release that's called Cognify. Their plan is to offer people a deal that have a jail sentence right now. So let's say that you're in jail and you're facing 5 years, 10 years, even 3 years. And these scientists come up to you talking about there's a rehabilitation process with this chip that we're about to give you. And if you do this, we will drop all charges and you will be released from jail. You know how many people are going to take this deal so they don't have to do that time? So essentially, these prisoners are turning into lab rats. How this process is going to go is that this chip is going to put artificial memories in the patient's brain. These fake memories and feelings are supposedly going to help with the rehabilitation process. They also said that this chip is going to have the ability to make the patients feel what their family members felt. So if a crime was committed like a murder, this chip will allow you to feel what the other family members felt. When the government is trying to play God, what could possibly go wrong? All hell is about to break loose. And the sad part about it is how many people are actually going to do it because they're vulnerable. They don't want to do that time. Not only are they taking advantage of people, they don't know how this is going to work, so they're lab rats at the end of the day. These are all experiments that are about to go down. And this is how the government introduces things to the society. They do it through science experiments. They do it very gradual. But this is not a good idea and this isn't normal. But it's all good. The time is ticking. They're about to find out what happens when you try to play God.
As I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I take a look at my life and realize there's nothing left.
This is the book of Ezekiel, chapter 12, and verse 23. Salaki 22. Son of man, what is that proverb that ye have in the land of Israel, saying, the days are prolonged, and every vision faileth? 23. Tell them therefore, thus saith the Lord Yahweh, I will make this proverb to cease, and they shall no more use it as a proverb in Israel, but say unto them, the days are at hand, and the effect of every vision. For there shall be no more any vain vision, nor flattering divination within the house of Israel. For I am the Lord, I will speak, and the word that I shall speak shall come to pass. It shall be no more prolonged, for in your days, O rebellious house, will I say the word, and will perform it, saith the Lord God Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shai. Shalom. First and foremost, giving all praises, honor, and glory to the Heavenly Father, Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Rakah Kadash. Double honors to the apostles, elders, and bishops of Great Millstone who do rule and teach well. Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shai, Barakathum. Peace and blessings, salutations as always to the hopefully elect, the sincere Akim and Akwath out there listening, learning, noise in this gospel abroad, keeping the faith and diligence of our Lord, Yahweh Shai. All right, so as you saw in that opening TikTok clip, they got this new program, with the BCI or brain chip interface called Cognify, all right, in which, they're going to pretty much use this thing as a testing ground for prisoners. All right. Now, this is going to be presented to prisoners if, they want to get out of jail. All right. If they want charges dropped. Basically, this is going to be used as a stumbling block to get people to, give their bodies to use as a, testing ground for the devil, for Esau. You see? And this is nothing more than the devil using gradualism, implementing his wicked agenda through steps. All right, little by little he continues to creep in. All right, his propaganda and his lies continue to propagate with his wicked rhetoric. All right, so this is what you have in these times, man. And as we just read in Ezekiel 12, all right, the Lord is going to perform his words. His prophecy is going to be fulfilled, and in these days we see these prophecies coming forth. Right now, when you go to Revelation, the 13th chapter, what I'm saying, we go into this on a regular basis, but this is because you need to be aware that these things are becoming more and more noticeable in society, to the point where you have average people out here they can see where this all this chip activity is going, right? Revelation 13 and 16, and he calls it all. Okay, so this is going to encompass all inhabitants of the earth. All right, let's read on. Both small and great. All right, so your common citizen, your average laborer or workman, all right, they're going to be caused to get it. And the great, the so-called celebrity, the high profile person, they're going to be caused to get it as well. Rich and poor, free and bond. Now, what did we just go into in that video? Prisoners, okay, they would be considered bondmen, all right? So whether you're a so-called free person that's out here in society, you're really, you're not free, but let's just call it that for the sake of the lesson, all right? Because you're still a slave, but the fact that you're able to go about and do things that you want to do when you want to do it, all right, that would be a form of freedom, right? But whether you're free or bond, all right, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads, all right? So this thing is coming, man. Of course, Elon Musk has been at the forefront with the Neuralink brain chip, all right? And years ago, they came out with the insertable hand chip that people are already using, you see? And we see that all these nations are going digital. Okay, I think China now has gone completely digital, Certain EU nations have gone completely digital. Australia, UK, and even America is making that move. You see, so we're in a time of great transition, but as you see in Revelation 13 and 16, all right, key in on that free and bond. Okay, this is exactly what that TikTok in this article right here is going into. So we'll tap into this real quick. Cognify, revolutionary prison concept uses AI and brain implants. Okay, showing you that this AI, right, is an integral part of this NWO, of this Great Reset. Okay, this is why they're so aggressively rolling this thing out and replacing all the jobs that human beings used to do with AI and robotics. All right. Revolutionary prison concept uses AI and brain implants to fast track criminal rehabilitation. So notice that the devil, he's putting this out here as a thing of, is a benevolent thing. Okay, yeah, we're gonna put this out here for prisoners because this is all about to rehabilitate them, to make them better people, right? When we know that the prison industrial complex is nothing more than a new cunningly devised system of slavery in this modern time. Okay, that's all it is. They're not interested in bettering people's lives. They're not interested in rehabilitating anyone. All right. As a matter of fact, when you go to jail, you come out worse than you did before. You know what I'm saying? Because you're seeing all type of things. You become exposed to all these different type of doctrines amongst these demons that you're locked up with, man. So you often come out worse than when you went in. All right. So the goal is not to rehabilitate. The goal is for the devil to make money and to forward his kingdom. Right. That's what these jails and these prisons are all about. All right. It's a business at the end of the day. So with this chip, it's also business. All right. And it also feeds into, how they want the average human to interact in this great reset. All right. So Cognify is a revolutionary new jail concept that uses artificial intelligence and brain implants to reduce the time it takes for criminals to recover from years to minutes, introducing fictitious memories of crimes into convicts' brains is an innovative technique to reform the criminal justice system. And see, there's no need to reform the so-called criminal justice system because it's working as intended, and it always has been. Why is it now that you've had the so-called criminal justice system, which is nothing more than a system really set up to railroad Jake, all right? Because here it is, you have Jake that is locked up disproportionately to Edomites that commit more of the crime. All right, but who are the jailhouses filled with? It's the Israelites, okay? Which that goes into biblical prophecy as well. You know what I'm saying? That would happen to us. You see, But in this wicked system, man, this devil's really coming out with his BS as, putting his chip out there at the forefront as a means to reform, all right, when it's no such thing. It says it allows inmates to understand their misdeeds from the perspective of their victims. And why is this needed? Why does the person that committed the crime need to understand their misdeeds? They don't care if you understand, all right? And then to get on top of that, you have a lot of jakes that are in jail locked up on trumped up charges, okay? You see it all the time. A Jake that came out of jail, he did 30 years, 40, 50, 60 years, all right? And the reason why that happens is because, Jake is on the bottom. So you be in the hood or, just out wherever, Esau pull up on you, you know what I'm saying? Some Edomite may have committed a crime and, either they can't find him or they drop the charges on him and they just go rope up Israelite man. All right. And because Jake don't have money, Jake can't afford a lawyer to fight on his behalf. They, it's like, let me drink some water. Throat getting dry. Salakia, but because Jake, don't have no money, what I'm saying, you can't afford to hire a private lawyer that's gonna actually fight on your behalf. Not 10 times out of 10 they're gonna give Jake a public defender, and the public defender works for the state, so he has no interest, he has no incentive to actually fight for you. Okay, he's gonna tell you to take the plea. You know what I'm saying? He's gonna tell you to confess to a crime that you didn't commit, and this is why this happens to Jake, where Jake is innocent. Jake is in jail for years upon years, and you come out old as hell, decrepit. You know what I'm saying? Your prime is gone. Esau took the best years of your life from you to get labor. And now when he's done with you, when you're of no more use, now he exonerates you when he knew all along that you was innocent. So this is the wickedness of the system that we live in. And this is why the Most High is going to burn this place with fire, man, because this place is completely wicked. All right. And this thing happens on a regular basis, man. But this is what Esau's putting out there as a means to help these inmates. All right. And that goes into Revelation 13 and 16, where it says free and bond. OK, this is even going to be presented to prisoners. And that's exactly what this article is going into, so we ain't got to get too deep into that. Y'all get the point. But just to show you that this thing indeed is being set up as a stumbling block, and we can go to 2nd Ezra, the 15th chapter, and, verse, we start at the top. 2nd Ezra 15:1, behold, speak thou in the ears of my people the words of prophecy, which I will put in thy mouth, saith the Lord, and cause them to be written in paper, for they are faithful and true. And don't the scriptures say that we have a more sure word of prophecy? So being that we're in the spirit of Yahweh Bashmel Shai, we can connect world events and tap into these articles, tap into these news reports and these videos, and bring it out with the proper understanding to show you that these things connect directly back to what the Lord said would happen in these last days. All right? Meaning that they are faithful and true. Verse 3, fear not the imaginations against thee, let not the incredulity, okay, which goes into unbelief, scoffing, scorning, of them trouble thee that speak against thee. For all the unfaithful shall die in their unfaithfulness, right? So, people that want to scoff against what the MOTB is, clearly seeing what it is, clearly seeing where this is going. All right, fear not the unbelief of these people, man. Fear not the incredulity, because ultimately, guess what? They're going to continue on in their unbelief, and they're going to be destroyed. Okay, as it says in Romans 3:3, for what if some did not believe? Shall that make the faith of Yahweh Bashmel Shah to none effect? And the answer is no. Right? Just because you don't believe, that doesn't mean that it's not going to happen. See, that's what these people fail to understand. All right? You can, put your head in the sand like an ostrich and cover your ears and scream blah, blah, blah all day. That, that's not going to make the truth go away. That's not going to stop prophecy from coming to pass, man. All right? So these people are fools, man. Right? These people have no idea what's going on. They have no idea what's coming. And ultimately, it's because the Lord don't want them to know. All right? Because the Lord is not with these people. Where chip implants are heading should terrify all of us. All right? So we're going to tap into this. And that's a scene from the movie RoboCop, which, when you watch the movie RoboCop, That's pretty much the elites putting out there in visual form their plan for humanity, which is to have you become a cyborg. All right, have you become half man, half machine. And they've showed you, different type of movies. You know what I'm saying? Salakia, I Robot with Will Smith being another one. You know what I'm saying? So they show you the direction that they're going towards with this technology. You know what I'm saying? You notice that every decade, the technology becomes more and more prominent. You know what I'm saying? The technology becomes more and more sophisticated because they're moving towards that ultimate goal of doing away with what it is to be a human being, all right? Which is made in the image of Yahweh Bashmi Shai, and recreating the human being in their image, okay? Because look, Esau, he wants to be like the Most High. So he's trying to recreate life in his own image. See, he's trying to, play the role of the Most High, all right? But it's all going to fail. So when you read here in this article, it says, let's get straight to the point. It says, we'll start right here. Beyond medical applications, chip implants are venturing into the realm of human augmentation. What does augmentation mean? When you go into that word augmentation, it goes into the action or process of making or becoming greater in size or amount. All right, now this particular, let's see here, augmentation. Because it's really going into like a, virtual reality type thing, to where it'll be like a matrix type setup. Let's go to augments. To make greater, more numerous, larger, or more intense. So that's pretty much what they want to do with this society. Okay, their thing is, okay, we want to augment reality. See, we want to augment the human experience, you know what I'm saying, to make it more tangible, to make it more real than what it already is. Okay, this is why you have VR headsets. This is why they're implementing 6G now, okay, which is going to tap into the Internet of Things, the Internet of bodies, okay, which the chip is also going to work in tandem with all these things. All right, so they're rapidly rolling out this technology to augment your lifestyle, man, because you have to understand something, right? These devils, they plan on destroying the earth. You know what I'm saying? You got people out here talking about, we're going to, have our farm and we're going to have our garden and this, and that, which there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, you're not wicked if you want to have a farm or a garden, but you have to understand the end goal of all these things. See, these devils, they plan to block out the sun. Okay, they plan to release all kind of diseases out here to where life itself is going to be on the brink of extinction. Okay, because that's how crazy and wicked that Esau is, man. So this is why we continuously have to bring home the point that no amount of carnal means that you go to is going to save you from what's coming. All right, because this devil is crazy, man. All right, how are you going to grow crops if they block out the sun? You know what I'm saying? How are you going to grow crops when they're constantly spraying the air with chemicals and the chemicals are coming down on the soil and on your food? You see, that's not a foolproof plan, man. That's not going to save you in the grand scheme of things. Now you do what you can, if you have the means to, grow your own food, which is a wise thing to do, then yeah, you do that. But again, like, you shouldn't be looking at that as a thing of, okay, well, if I just do this, then I'm safe. You know what I'm saying? I'm not going to see persecution. No. All right. That's going to come anyway. And this is why you need Yahweh Bashmi Shai. All right. Because we need deliverance from these devils, man. All right. Because they're coming down with some hardcore shit. You know what I'm saying? And I got to say it like that because that's just the magnitude of what's being done here. All right. This is next level wickedness, man. Okay. The wickedness that Jake do in these other nations is nothing compared to the level of wickedness that Esau's on. See, that's why he's the wicked. All right, Job 9:24, the earth is given into the hand of the wicked. You see? So they're looking to augment human reality. Right, what else are they looking to do? It says the conversation report references the possibility of full RoboCop style enhancements where implants could enhance strength, cognition, or sensory perception, right? Which is all a part of augmentation, making things greater, okay? Making them, more sensible, I'm saying, more tangible to the senses, you see? So all these things of what they're doing, of what Esau is doing, is really to overcome the Most High, all right? And to pretty much create a new world that is within his line of theory or wicked vision. All right, that's what he's all about. All right, this is the man of sin that we dealing with. You see, such developments raise the prospect of a future where implants blur the line between human and machine, enabling capabilities like real-time language translation or enhanced memory recall. However, these advancements come with technical hurdles, including ensuring long-term biocompatibility and preventing immune rejection, as highlighted in a Wired article discussing the challenges of scaling BCIs for widespread use, which BCI is a brain-computer interface. Okay, so as Yuval Harari said, we want to have surveillance under the skin. Okay, but in order to do that, they got to get people on board to trust them and trust their vision and insight into what a better world looks like. Okay, and what a quote unquote better world looks like under these devils is becoming a damn robot. Is becoming a cyborg. Okay, losing your connection to the Heavenly Father. Being in line with the will of the wicked, and pretty much being relegated to a beast. What I'm saying? It can't think for yourself, can't speak against what they're doing. What I'm saying? You're just gonna go along with the plan of the wicked. What I'm saying? So people are catching on to what's going on here, and this is why, as it says in Second Ezra 15, that you're gonna have seditions among men. What I'm saying? There's gonna be many reasons to for people to rebel in these last days. What I'm saying? Because, hey, we're in a time where knowledge is greatly being increased. People are finding things out, and it's causing them to react adversely to the plans of the wicked. And this is ultimately why they're trying to use coercion. What I'm saying? Like, they're trying to coerce you, trying to convince you that this is a good thing. But in the end of it, it's going to, end in destruction. And I believe that's in Revelation the 14th chapter, where it speaks about that grievous sore, if I'm not mistaken. Revelation 14. Let me see. Revelation 14. Yep, Revelation 14:9. It says, "And the third angel followed them, saying with a loud voice, If any man worship the beast in his image, and receive his mark in his forehead or in his hand, the same shall drink of the wine of the wrath of Yahweh, which is poured out without mixture into the cup of his indignation." See, so if you receive the MOTB, you're going to receive the full wrath of Yahweh Bashim Yahushua. See, meaning that it's not going to be no mercy afforded unto you. Your ass going to be destroyed. Okay, that's what it means when it said, which is poured out without mixture into the cup. What I'm saying? Because you think about when you got a straight shot of tequila. What I'm saying? Like, if you take that shot straight up, it's going to be strong going down. But if you mix it in some pineapple juice or, any kind of, chaser, it's easier to digest. What I'm saying? Well, guess what? The Lord ain't going to give you no chaser for this wrath that you're going to receive. What I'm saying? You're going to receive the full strength of his wrath, okay? If you receive that MOTB. And he shall be tormented with fire and brimstone in the presence of the holy angels and in the presence of the Lamb. All right? And let me see. Let's say the grievous. Is that in this chapter? I'm probably reading over it. Let me type that in real quick, Salakia. Grievous sore. Okay, Revelation 16, Salakia. Revelation 16, and we'll start at the top. "And I heard a great voice out of the temple saying to the seven angels, Go your ways, and pour out the vials of the wrath of Yahweh upon the earth. And the first went and poured out his vial upon the earth, and there fell a noisome and grievous sore upon the men which had the mark of the beast, and upon them which worship his image. Okay, now, that grievous sore, is going into boils and cancer. It's going to be all over your body, sores, you know what I'm saying? Because people that get this MOTB, they're going to have an adverse reaction because it's a foreign agent that's being implanted inside of your body. All right, so your body naturally is going to reject it, and that's going to be judgment from Yahweh Bashmiel Shai. So if you accept this MOTB, your ass going to be destroyed. Okay, same as the people that took that serpent venom years ago. A lot of them are being destroyed, man. You got people out here that took that thing that's just dropping dead all of a sudden. You know what I'm saying? Perfectly healthy, perfectly fine, no health issues, just all of a sudden just dying in their sleep. Young too. You know what I'm saying? 20s and 30s, you know what I'm saying? Just dropping dead. You know what I'm saying? So we're in that time where, the Lord is cutting off a lot of people, man. As it says in 2nd Ezra, the 5th chapter, many shall be taken in a great number. All right. So, yeah, this is what is coming upon the earth, man. So, we're not ignorant of Satan's devices. We see what this devil got going on, and we see where he's going with his wicked devices. You know what I'm saying? So this is for us to, be vigilant, to be circumspect, watch out for these things because, hey, again, we have a more sure word of prophecy. See, what we believe in, we know that we have the truth. You know what I'm saying? Emphatically, ain't no doubt about it. We got the truth, you see? And the wisdom and knowledge that we have according to, the spirit, you know what I'm saying, it's really going to shine forth in these last days when everybody else is bugging out. And we're calm, cool, and collected, and we're calling upon the names of Yahweh Bashmiel Shai, okay, which is a strong tower. It's going to give us comfort, Now here, I show you that, this world is through. This is from Christian Daily International. Nearly 10K in Netherlands euthanized in 2024, including 219 for psychological disorders. You see, so they just offering people left and right in the Netherlands. You know what I'm saying? Let's read a little bit of this. It says nearly 10,000 people living in the Netherlands were euthanized last year, marking a 10% increase from the year before and a 60% increase in those suffering from psychological conditions. All right, now why are people so bugged out in their mind? Because the wicked is ruling. Plain and simple. When you read Proverbs 29:2, it tell you that when the wicked bear rule, the people mourn. A lot of people are offering themselves. Suicide is at an all-time high. You know what I'm saying? Hey, look, you got whole families out here that's offering themselves. Why you think that is, man? Because the devil, he's making life unbearable. And this is why his plan is to destroy the earth and the human experience so much to the point where you're going to want to live in an augmented reality, to where you're going to want to live in a matrix simulated world. Okay, because the real world is going to be too grievous to even deal with. So this man is truly the devil. You know what I'm saying? According to RTE, 86.29 of the reports were due to common physical conditions like cancer, heart issues, nervous system disorders, and lung disorders, which a lot of these things, these physical conditions that people are having are due to that serpent venom as well. All right, so again, that's the spirit, man. You see, that serpent venom is destroying a lot of people. All right, and it's going under the radar. You know what I'm saying? They're not putting out there how many people are going back to the spirit world behind that venom, but it's a lot. Okay, cancer, heart issues, nervous system disorders, lung disorders. There were 427 reports of euthanasia being granted to those suffering from dementia, while 219 reports derived from at least one psychological disorder, up from 138 and 23. Let's see here. Although the absolute numbers are still low, there is a recent enormous increase in requests in euthanasia performed in patients with psychological complaints, especially, check this out, in young people under 30. You see that? So, these people are through. All right, people are literally begging to just go back to the spirit world. You see, this is the world which Esau has made, man, to where people are like, just take me out, People don't have no hope. They don't got nothing left. They just like, yo, just off me. You know, they're asking, help to just go to sleep, right? Say it like that. Under 30, man. That's crazy. It says this is controversial because it is unclear whether young people at that age can meet the due diligence criteria. How can one at that age determine with certainty that a young person with a still developing brain definitely wants to die, that life is experienced as hopeless and without prospects, and that all treatments have already been carried out? God damn. So you see, people are just completely without hope, man. See, there's really nothing to live for these people. You see? So this is what happens when the devil bears rule over the earth. The people languish. All right. Let's go to Isaiah 24. Because look, the earth is in a very sad case. You know what I'm saying? But on top of that, it's judgment from Yahweh Bashmiel Shai. Isaiah 24:4. The earth mourneth and fadeth away. The world languisheth and fadeth away. The haughty people of the earth do languish, right? Languishing, right? When you go into languishing, matter of fact, we can just get the biblical usage. We'll just do that. Languisheth, Aimal, right? To weak, to droop, to languish, to be exhausted. And hey, people are tired, man. People are weak. People are decreasing, all right? In all aspects, mental, physical, spiritual. You know what I'm saying? And it's all because of Esau, the so-called white man, the devil, man. To be or grow feeble, to languish. You see that? So these people are completely through. This is why, again, they're begging to go back to the spirit world. You see that? Isaiah 24:10, the city of confusion is broken down, which is America, Babylon, the Greek. And you see every day that go by, this place continues to be broken down, man. All right? Everything is breaking down. The politics, the music, the movies, TV shows, you know what I'm saying? People's mental states, you know what I'm saying? Yo, this is truly a land of great confusion. Everything is confused here. You know what I'm saying? And I was just talking to a brother, man, just going into how this world is just so through, to where people are just so far gone, to where people out here just really have no direction whatsoever. And it's all because they don't fear the Lord. It's all because they don't seek Yahweh Bashmiel Shah. So they've been given over to vile affections. You know what I'm saying? They've been given over to strong delusion. And this is what adds to the dysfunction in this society. All right? You don't see families out here no more. You know what I'm saying? Like, you don't see strong men out here no more. All right? You can't even have a decent conversation with a person no more, man, because all these people have on their minds is nothing but madness, okay? Just bugged out. You know what I'm saying? You try to have a conversation with some of these people, man, it's like, yo, like, where is your head at? Like, what are you talking about, man? Just going off on a tangent into, just all type of madness. It's really unbearable sometimes, man, but hey, this is the world that we live in. Verse 24:9. They shall not drink wine with a song. Strong drink shall be bitter to them that drink it. And a lot of people are turning to the bottle, turning to alcohol to alleviate the pain, but it ain't working. You know what I'm saying? So if alcohol, drugs, a lot of people are ODing too, fentanyl, heroin, you know what I'm saying? Just all kind of drugs, man, pills, lean, like, yo, people are on everything. And it's all because the reality in which they live is all messed up. All right, this is why we need the kingdom. This is why we need Yahweh Bashmiel Shah to come save us out this hellhole, man. Because, as we always say, if you want to stay here, you ain't right. All right? If you're not crying to Yahweh Bashmiel Shah to deliver you from this, sad situation, then your ass going to be destroyed. You know what I'm saying? You're not right in the head or in the spirit, man. You know what I'm saying? The Lord is not dealing with you if you love it here. And if you love it here, you're going to die here. You know what I'm saying? And it's bad when people can't even drink no alcohol, man. to even escape the pain. No amount of drugs is gonna save these people, man. All right, so we're already seeing the earth languish and fade away. You see, verse verse 19. It says, "The earth is utterly broken down. The earth is clean dissolved. The earth is moved exceedingly." You know what I'm saying? So, hey, man, Yahweh Shemel Shah is breaking down this earth, and you see it in the mental state of the people. Everybody's through. Everybody cooked. You see? And as time goes on, you know what I'm saying, like is we go into the latter months of the year, you're gonna see the confusion increase even more. All right, you're gonna see the iniquity increase even more in these people, man, to where, hey, look, you already seeing it. You already seeing people just rise up against one another. You know what I'm saying? We're really in a time now to where you really gotta be careful. You know what I'm saying? You really gotta watch who you be around. Cause look, man, people are on edge. You know what I'm saying? People are ready to crash out for the smallest inconvenience and really not giving a damn. Because these people feel as though they have nothing left to lose. All right? If you have thousands of people, begging to just be put out their misery, what do you think the average mindset of the Babylonian is out here? All right? This losing jobs, losing money, you know what I'm saying, losing their sanity, losing everything that they found joy in this world is passing away. So here you come along, and this is why they hate the men of the Lord, because we just pressing buttons that they don't want press. You know what I'm saying? Here it is. They already plagued in their mind, and here we come telling them that, hey, your world going to be destroyed, that there is no hope. These people ain't trying to hear that, man. All right, so this is why we know persecution is coming. So all these things are being set up. The demonization of Yasha'Allah, man. All right, of the true believers. You know what I'm saying? This is the time that we in, and all these things speak to that. So hey, this MOTB is coming. Watch out for the wiles of the devil, and stay strong in the faith. With that, I'm gonna go ahead and close out, Lord willing. This lesson was edifying through the Rakah Kadash, called Lord Yahweh Bashmil Shah Bashim Rakah Kadash. And until next time, Lord willing, shalom to the elect. Come Yasha'Allah. Wa ba ba. On to the next one. Shalom.